Oh hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. Today I had a totally different video in mind, but this just landed on my lap, and so my original idea went out the door. Instead, I'm gonna do a review of this new full beat, full coverage foundation from One Size, from the one and only Patrick Star. I'm gonna keep my little turban on. I was gonna take it off, but now I think I owe it to myself to keep it on in this video. Anyways, what can you expect in this video? A full thorough review as always, the details, the prices. I'm also gonna be using two different primers, both from One Size, that this foundation is formulated to work best with. Now this is a 16 ingredient only foundation, and it's a full coverage foundation, so I am so excited for this. Of course, expect a wear test at the end of the video. Be sure to watch this video in its entirety. And now let's get into it. One Size full beat foundation, full coverage foundation at that, from the one and only One Size and Patrick. All right, so the deets. This is a $44 foundation. That's right, it says so here. Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. There's also a new sponge that I already took out and took the liberty to wet for today's trial. And the sponge is an infinity sponge, really cool shape, $19. So there are 38 shades in this foundation. I was sent 3, so of course I'm gonna swatch the 3 that I was sent. It is intentionally formulated with only 16 ingredients, and they are non-comedogenic ingredients at that. I say this because I am an oily, acne-prone skin type. I believe so is Patrick, and generally speaking, whatever works for him usually works for me. I've actually gotten a lot of my makeup tips from him. He is a friend of mine. He is someone that I go to for makeup advice, just saying. And so I'm very excited for this, for his brand and also for him, and also for me, and also for you. If this works, if this is promising, then this will be the full coverage foundation of our dreams. This is long wearing, waterproof, sweat proof. It's supposed to smooth and blur, and you're supposed to shake well before use, which I am gonna do. And the reason why it is only 16 ingredients is intentional, because keeping it kind of simple makes it a little bit more versatile, and you could use it with various primers such as Secure the Blur or Secure the Sweat. You could use it with various setting powders, loose, pressed, and of course you can also wear it with the setting spray. So let's try it. So I'm pretty sure they sent me all of my winter shades. Light with a neutral rosy undertone, which isn't even my winter shade, but let's see. So this is light 50 NR, neutral rosy. Next we have light 30, neutral golden. Okay, these are quite bright. And the last one that I have here is medium 10, which is a neutral. Okay, so this looks more in the family of what I'm going for, but it's still a little bit too light for my neck, but we'll make it work. Thumbnail fails? Fails? Not thumbnail fails. Thumbnail face. Let's hit it. Oh, One Size. Full beat? Full coverage kind of beat? What? I'm excited. This better work. All right, so let's actually go ahead and try these primers underneath. I want to designate one side of the face for the blurring primer, the other side of the face for the Secure the Sweat primer. Wait, and I also have the Secure the Glow. Should I do that on my forehead? You know what? Yeah, why not? So I'm gonna start with Secure the Blur, which is a nice silicone-y feeling blurring primer that will smooth your skin texture, but it will not necessarily control your oils. For that, there's a whole different primer. And you know what? If you want both, you could probably layer Secure the Sweat underneath Secure the Blur. I'm not gonna do that in this video though. So for Secure the Sweat, I'm gonna warm it up between my fingers. I'm gonna kind of slap it onto my face, concentrating mostly in the center of the face. I'm gonna wait 1 minute for it to set, and then I'm gonna apply Secure the Glow on my forehead. You're probably wondering, why the heck am I wearing a turban on my head? That is because I'm currently in the process of testing out heatless curlers, various different heatless curling rods, if you will. By the time this video is live, I will be halfway across the world. I'm going very, very far to Central Asia, and I am part Central Asian, so this is very, very exciting. The place that I'm going to has a history of like 6,000 years. Yeah. So if you want to guess what that is, be my guest, or you can just follow me on my IG, but you should be following me anyway. So that is where you could see all my posts and all my daily dealings. And so halfway across the world, they obviously use a different voltage system, and I never, ever, ever feel comfortable using using a converter for my curling rods or my Dyson for that matter. So I'm just trying to experiment as much as I can before I leave to see how I can get the perfect heatless curls. That is the story behind the turban. And after that trip, I'm actually going to be in London. I'm going to be meeting our swatch model there. We are going for a little bit of work and it's going to be super, super, super exciting. So I hope you guys tune into that also on the gram. Anyway, the face is prepped and primed. I'm going to go in with the medium 10N and I'm thinking I'm going to first apply this with a brush. I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection brush. I'm going to apply a pump to this side of the face just to see how exactly this spreads with my favorite brush. This is full coverage. This is very full coverage indeed, but in no way does it actually feel heavy or makeup-y. My skin looks beautiful in the monitor. Look at that difference. I think I can work with this shade. I am definitely in the medium range, but I think I need something a tad richer to match my neck and my chest, which is even darker. But I can definitely save this for like a winter shade or whatnot. In fact, let me actually take a look at the shades. I had like the shade range here somewhere. So here in the shade range, we have the undertones. I'll pop up a larger picture so you could see with me. We have the golden, we have the neutral, we have the rosy, we have the golden olive, we have the neutral golden, and the neutral rosy. So the shade that I'm wearing right now, I believe, is the neutral, but it does look a little bit neutral golden on the monitor. That's for sure. So I'm not too mad at it actually. The other one that I would want to try perhaps is the medium 40 with a golden undertone, or maybe a medium 50 with a golden undertone. I'm not sure, but I'm not seeing any golden olives in the medium or the medium dark, only in the dark deep. And I believe that is actually the only shade with that undertone. Everything else is either a rosy, a neutral, a golden, or a neutral golden. Okay, so now that I've done that, I kind of want to maybe diffuse some of the product right here. I wanted to show my freckles off, but I guess it's diffusing the foundation a little bit too much. It's literally just picking it off. So maybe I shouldn't have done that. Let me apply some to the back of my hand, pick it up with the sponge, and let me add that back on. I will say this sets rather quickly, which is probably why the wet sponge picked off some of the foundation rather easily. And so because it sets to a pretty solid finish, I would say it's important to pick one, either the brush or the sponge, and apply it that way. I don't know about both. All right, so now let's go ahead and apply that. And now I guess I'm gonna use the sponge. Oh man, this coverage is crazy actually. This coverage is full. And you can kind of see that the Secure the Sweat primer almost makes the coverage seem fuller, or perhaps it's the sponge applicator, the fact that I'm just pressing it in. But man, this covered all of my redness, all of my acne. You can't really even see the freckles with the exception of here, which I will say I was treading lightly. And the reason why my face is a little bit flushed right now is because I just came back from the gym about an hour ago, took a shower, put my hair up, and here I am. But I guess that's also good for a video like this. All right, so then for the forehead, I'm gonna try to apply a minimal amount to see if perhaps I can sheer this out. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, because a full coverage foundation is a full coverage foundation and we love it for its full coverage. But for me, because I like to show off my freckles, because I don't really like to fully cover my forehead, generally my forehead is on the flawless side, it doesn't have any breakouts or imperfections, something is pilling like crazy on my forehead. Perhaps it is the Secure the Glow. But I'm gonna show you a close-up. Yeah. Maybe that is the one primer that I wasn't supposed to use it with. But regardless, look at the two other sides. I feel like the phone can't even focus. It's so blurred. Look at that. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Yeah, so the pilling is definitely there with the Secure the Glow primer. So I think I'm just gonna remove that all together and try it again. All right, everything is removed, but that just goes to show you, even with only 16 ingredients, something in that glow primer is clearly not cooperating with this foundation. I mean, I know that primer is serum-like, and that typically happens with serums, but still, noted. Again, I wanna do just a minimal amount. I wanna cover up this acne spot, which that foundation took care of, no problem. Here is the base. Outside of my peeling acne right here on this side of the face, my old horn, the skin is looking fully covered up. So now I'm just gonna add some concealer. I'm gonna use the Acne-prone concealer because I like it. I have it handy. I like the sponge. It's like a giant fingertip. It's nice to see that this is working well with the Danessa Myricks concealer, which is a much lighter formula in terms of coverage, that is. But it's nice to see these two cooperating so well together, actually. Okay, so at first impression, I gotta say, I think I prefer the foundation with the blurring primer on this side a little bit better than with the Secure the Sweat primer on this side. Reason being is that this side of the face, in my close-up mirror, still looks somewhat natural. I can't say what it is exactly. I can't put my finger on it because there's definitely coverage. But on this side of the face, with this primer, the foundation looks a little bit more makeup-y, like a little bit more mask-like. And I'm not saying this in a bad way whatsoever. This isn't like a wax statue type of look. And if you know what that reference is from, you are the real MVP. Bonus points if you know who said it. And to which of my videos. Okay. Yeah, so it's not like a waxy figure type of vibe, but something about it just becomes a little bit more solidified, like just a little bit more solid on the skin, which is kind of giving it that mask-like appearance. But if you love full coverage foundation, this is probably gonna be up your alley, honestly, because it's not clinging to pores, it's covering everything up, it is giving me a very smoothed out, flawless finish. And also there's no oil seeping through. Where here, I'm kind of expecting some oils pretty soon. All right, so now let's move on. Let's set everything. I definitely grabbed 2 of One Size's powders, which by the way, these are some of my favorite powders, I gotta say. The original translucent setting powder from One Size is like my holy grail. I travel with that one. It works in every single possible climate, but recently I've switched to the Ultra Pink. Sometimes I use Ultra Peach as well. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of the pink to set the under eye. I also like to set between the brows and the lids, even though there's nothing on them. And then for the rest of the face, I'm gonna use the Turn Up the Base powder foundation that I always use. Okay, camera cut off, but I did finish powdering down this side of the face, and holy with this powder, this side of the face looks flawless, looks insane. Like it's ready for the red carpet, that flawless. Like it's ready for a photo shoot. This feels like so solid. I would bet this type of makeup would probably last me for 10 hours plus. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set this side of the face, and then I'll show you a close-up of both. I can't even imagine using the Until Dawn setting spray all over this face. That would give me like bulletproof makeup. Okay, this side looks really great as well. But again, a little bit more natural. A little bit more natural. Now I prefer a little bit more natural, even if it's full coverage, you know. I don't want it to look too makeup-y. And I also feel like with full coverage foundation, you have to have a perfect shade match. If not, then you just run the risk of looking a little made up, if you will. Forehead looks great. This side of the face looks amazing. This one though, I bet you my iPhone camera won't be able to focus. Hello? What pores? Look at this. And yes, I did remove some of the foundation here. I applied it sparingly because I don't like my freckles. Here's this side of the face. Right? Something about this side of the face just looks very natural. Same thing with the forehead. This is presentable. This is presentable. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna add just a couple more things while I'm here. Perhaps some blush. Attention Seeker is the shade here. I'm gonna add this very, very lightly. Also on this side of the face. A little bit of that shimmer on the top just to bring it all together, and boom. The face. Observe. I gotta say I'm impressed. Patrick, this is what I've been looking for lately, actually. I love a good full coverage that can be sheared down, and I think this definitely gives that. I love simple, clean ingredients that are non-comedogenic for my oily, acne-prone skin. That I appreciate. I like the fact that it works with multiple powders, multiple primers, though not every single primer. We did test that, and that was a bit of an epic fail, but still, this looks really lovely. This looks really good. It doesn't look too cakey. What am I saying? It doesn't look cakey at all. And typically, full coverage foundations, when they are this full coverage, they always look cakey and makeup-y. Yes, this does definitely look like makeup to me, but in a good way, in a way that I can appreciate. So with that said, I think it's time to cue in that good old time warping music for that wear test. Are you ready? I'm ready. All right, guys, I am back for the wear test. Clearly, I have a little bit more makeup on, and it's because I actually filmed another video, so I've been sitting under these hot-ass lights for a few hours now. So I would say this is probably a 6-hour wear test, but given the fact that the lights are very, very melting, This is what this side of the face looks like after 6 hours of wear. Remember, this is the side where I used the blurring primer underneath the foundation. I also used it on my forehead, which is definitely starting to show some signs of wear. But baby, this side of the face with the oil controlling primer is bulletproof, like I had imagined. The skin looks absolutely flawless. It is fully covered up outside of the part where I wanted to purposely show my freckles. And man, oh man, there is not a grease lick in sight on this side of the face. So that tells me that this 16 ingredient foundation is in fact extremely versatile. If you have oily skin like I do, you could definitely pair this with the Secure the Sweat primer. I was looking for it, but it can no longer be found in my mess. However, if you have a normal to dry skin type, you could definitely pair it with the blurring primer, and this is how it will wear on oily skin. But it'll wear even better if you have normal to dry skin. I gotta say, I am really impressed. If I had my exact shade match, which at the moment looks pretty good in these lights, but I would prefer something just a little bit deeper to match my neck and also my body. If I had that shade, I would probably take this foundation with me on my travels, and this would be the one that I would travel with. I feel like it is that trusty, and I've only worn it once. I also think this foundation probably photographs beautifully. Am I impressed? Yeah, you could say so. Am I gonna continue reaching for it and using it? Absolutely. Let me do one more quick test. And yes, I heard you on the paper towels. It's just what I got laying around here. I'm gonna blot this shiny forehead just to see what happens if I get rid of some of that shine. Honestly, it looks as good as new. It did remove just a little bit of makeup. This side of the face, not bad. Not bad at all. One size, Patrick, you guys did it. I am officially a fan at first impression. Of course, I'm gonna definitely reach for this a couple more times throughout the month, and I'll give you guys my final verdict in my faves X fails. For now, this is my story, this is my review, and I'm sticking to it. Peace out, zooming on out, and I'm out. Deuces.